وسع صوتك ها. طيب raise your voice please so we can record your voice. طيب اللهم صل على سيدنا.
Delay usage, page 39. The word nasiya in Arabic refers to delay. Riba nasiya involves two types. First type, increasing the debt on the insolvent person by way of an interest rate. This is the origin of riba, which used to be done in the pre-Islamic period of ignorance, al-Jahiliyyah. It means that a person owes another person a sum of money that is to be paid at a certain time. So, when it is time for paying back, the creditor gives the debtor the option either to pay the debt or to allow him much more time in return for an interest on the borrowed sum. Therefore, if the debtor chooses not to settle his debt, the creditor prolongs the period of payment against an interest, which thereby results in the excessive increase of the debt. This is why Allah prohibits this type of transaction, saying, and if someone is in hardship, then let there be postponement until the time of ease.
طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خاتم النبيين وسيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن سار على نهجه إلى يوم الدين وعنا برحمته وعفوه وهو أرحم الراحمين. أما بعد, we are, as you see, continue our study for the riba, about riba. We are still in the book of trade and transactions. And this bab or this subject was included because it happened most of the time when people are dealing in business. So they include this chapter about riba, as we said, in this book or in this chapter. Riba and nasiya. We said last week, riba means ziyada, right? To increase. And nasiya from nasa'a. And nasa'a, that means to delay. إنما النسيئة زيادة في الكفر. الله عز وجل said in the Quran, إنما النسيئة زيادة في الكفر. So, this is the meaning of nasiya. What's the meaning of riba and nasiya? The Shaykh explained it, because this is come in two ways. One is that, as he explained here, if somebody borrow from other person an amount of money, he said, give me, for example, 1,000 riyal. I'll give it to you after 6 months. And he agreed on this. And then when the time comes, the appointed time, he said, give me my money. He said, well, I don't have it right now. I will give it to you after 6 months, 2 months. He said, okay, I will give you a chance, but I will take more for this time. And some people try to justify it, in a way they said, because this money was whole, and if it was in the hand of the owner, he may invest it. This is their, rationality as they think. But here we said it is forbidden. It is haram. This is the riba and nasiya. To ask for more time in exchange of adding more to the debt. Right? If somebody has nothing, what's the solution? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained to us. Allah encouraged us. فإن كان ذو عسرة فنظرة إلى ميسرة. فإن كان ذو عسرة فنظرة إلى ميسرة. Surah Al-Baqarah. This is the translation here of the meaning of this ayah. And if someone is in hardship, ذو عسرة, من العسر, then postponement until a time of peace. نظرة إلى ميسرة. Why? Because as you know, brothers, the relation between Muslims should be based on what? On mercy among them. رحماء بينهم. رحماء بينهم. They care about each other. They help each other. Today you are in need. I am the one that I can help you. You know, you don't know one day that I'll be in need, and you are the only one that you will come to my help. So we should understand it in this way. And as the Prophet ﷺ advised us, من يسر من فرج عن مؤمن كربة من كرب الدنيا فرج الله عنه كربة من كرب يوم القيامة. If you is any difficulties or hardship that face your brother here in this world, in this life, in exchange Allah Azza wa Jal will reward you at the day of judgment when, as you know, will be a lot of hardship and difficulties, trials. Allah Azza wa Jal make it easy for you when the time that you need it. At the time when everybody needs the help, you will find it. So always be sure that whatever good you do to others, it's not waste. It's not waste. Why? Because the Muslim is dealing with whom? With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And don't wait. Don't wait for, thanks or reward from people. This is something that we should put it in our mind, brothers. Okay? I'm not going to give Muhammad. Why? Because the other day he said some bad word about me in front of people. No. I don't punish for this. Why? Because I am dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's very important, brothers. This is the spirit of Islam. Spirit of mercy, of caring. The real meaning of brotherhood in Islam. It's not just the words that we repeat. We said we are all brothers, and when it's come to practice, everyone gives his back to the other. That's not right. It's not the spirit of Islam. It's not the teaching of Islam. Right? Now, so the verse signify what?
The verse signifies that if the time of payment is due and the debtor is unable to fulfill his debt, it is impermissible for the creditor to increase the debt. Rather, the creditor should give the debtor a grace period.
Now, so this is the point here. The point is, you have no right to increase just because this person he cannot pay you. And if you do good, in fact you do it for yourself. Just ask yourself, who is the one who gave you this money? When you came to this world, do you have this money? Do you have this wealth? You came to this world that even you don't have your own clothes. Right or not? Did you see anybody when he was born with a nice suit? Nothing covered you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided you with everything. So when you give people, in fact, you are giving from the money that Allah Azza wa Jal trusted you. So don't take advantage of your ability, of whatever power you have, of money, and then you take advantage of this to be arrogant. You should show mercy. And as we know, whatever that you do for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, you will get reward and blessing in your wealth and whatever Allah Azza wa Jal gave you. Now,
on the other hand, if the debtor is wealthy, he is to pay his due debt. Hence, no increase on the debt by the way of an interest should be made, whether the debtor is insolvent or not.
Right. Maybe some people, they are able to pay. He's not broken. He has a lot of money. But he said, well, yes, I have money, but I want to invest it. So give me a chance for another year. I will make more money and return your money to you. Also this is haram. We said if you are able to give back what you take from others, then you should. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, مَطْلُ الْغَنِي ظُلْمٌ. This is hadith. مَطْلُ الْغَنِي ظُلْمٌ. What does it mean, مَطْلُ الْغَنِي ظُلْمٌ? That means the rich, the man who is able to pay back whatever debt in his side, okay, if he didn't do it, then he is committing injustice. Good. So he should not do it. And you have the right to take him to the authority if he didn't pay. But don't say, okay, I'll give you a chance, and if you want to give me a chance without money, it's okay. It's okay. If you said, okay, no problem, you'll get it inshallah next year or next month, no problem. But to say, I leave it, but then you should increase me, okay, give me more than what I gave you, this is what's considered as riba and haram. Now, so this is one, okay, aspect of riba and nasiya. So we have two, okay, two kinds or two types. What's the second one?
The second type refers to the riba taken through selling goods of the same type but in excess, which is the property in the case of riba al-fadl.
Now,
with delaying the date of delivery, whether for both or just one of the items.
fine. Here we have to explain what does it mean riba al-fadl. Al-fadl, which means more, or giving more. Okay? Giving more. And this is why we say this is afdal min hada. This afdal min that this is better than this. This is more than this. Okay? Fine. How does this happen? It's coming inshallah when we talk about riba al-fadl. But why the Shaykh include this type, under the title of nasiya? Because of the time. Because of the time. How? Because we know if you want to exchange gold with gold, right, it should be, the exchange should happen where? In the same time. That doesn't mean, well, I exchange gold with you, okay, I will give you 5 grams of gold in exchange of 5 grams of gold, but I will give it to you after a week or month or 1 year or whatever. This is haram. Why? Because here including two things. One is riba al-fadl, okay, which means that if you exchange 2 items of the same type, there should be no difference in weight or measurement. They should be the same weight and the same measurement. And this is what we call it al-fadl, riba al-fadl. But here, he accepts. There's no ziyada, no extra. Okay? But he will return it after 6 months. So here the point is involving what? Timing. Involve timing. He didn't increase in any kind. I mean the type. The measurement is the same. The weight is the same. I give you 10 kilo of gold. You will give me 10 kilo of gold. There's no difference. Said, okay, how come this is considered riba? Because this is, including a riba al-fadl. So if you give it, exchange even the same weight for more time, nasiya, so it will be included here under what? The type of riba and nasiya. But if you exchange it at the same time with extra, that means I give you 10 kilo and you give me 11 kilo in exchange, okay, and I'll give it to you after 6 months, here include 2 types of riba, riba al-fadl and riba al-nasiya, because in time and you give more. If you give in exchange, I give you 10 kilo of gold and you give me 11 kilogram of gold, here at the same time we exchange, this Under what? Riba al-fadl alone. Is it clear? The difference between riba al-fadl and riba al-nasi'a. And it's coming inshallah to explain here when we talk about riba al-fadl. Now,
there are many examples of this type, such as selling gold for gold, silver for silver, wheat for wheat, barley for barley, date for date, salt for salt, and the like.
Why the Sheikh mentioned these types? Why? He mentioned this because this is the type that was mentioned where in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. الذهب بالذهب. Okay? هاء وهاء. That's the same place they should exchange. Okay? المثل بالمثل. It means should be the same, the same thing. If I want to give you gold, 1 kilo, and you give me 1 gold, okay? No problem. But we should take it right now. Not delay. At the same time. With no difference in the measurement. Or in the weight. Okay? So the Shaykh here mentioned this because this is the type of what was mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now.
Besides, this type includes selling any type of these items for the same on credit.
No.
The same applies to whatever shares these items in the property of riba al-fadl, as well as will be pointed out below.
Okay, now we'll talk about riba al-fadl, which is related to what we just been explaining. Now,
riba al-fadl, excess usury. This type of riba refers to the selling of an item for another of the same type but in excess. With regard to this issue, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam dictates that this kind of transaction is prohibited in 6 items, namely gold, silver, wheat, barley, date, and salt.
okay, this is the hadith. The hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam explained this, that this is the hadith as he said, الذهب بالذهب والفضة بالفضة, and then named 6 items. Now the question that this is a lot of argument between ulama, between scholars. Is this limited to these 6 types that was mentioned by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or it is applied to any other items that could be weighed or could be measured? Right. الظاهرية, okay, الظاهرية, which is madhab of Ibn Hazm, which they take of the, what is the, the appearance of the words itself, they said, well, we should limit riba to this 6. Okay? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't mention except these 6 items. Some other scholars agree with them. Okay? And they said we should stick to what the Prophet ﷺ, okay, mentioned here. Others, they say the Prophet ﷺ, when he mentioned these 6 items, he mentioned it as what? As examples. And not as to limit other types. They said, what's your dalil? They said, this is similar to what the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in Zakat al-Fitr. Right or not? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he assigned Zakat al-Fitr, which is the zakat that we give at the end of Ramadan, he mentioned dates, he mentioned dry milk, he mentioned, okay, but he didn't. So, and nowadays we say no, of whatever people eat. Rice was not mentioned in the hadith. And nowadays we are giving away what? Rice. So those ulama, they said no, the 6 types it was mentioned, it's just only example because this is that most people at that time use in business and exchange. But it is applied to any type. If they are of the same type, okay, the same type, and with the same weight or measurement. So there are 3 conditions here. That it could be from the same type, okay, the same type. It could be measured or could be weight. Okay? So this, as we said, an area of a lot of argument between ulama. But here we should stay away from whatever we have doubt about. Now,
Thus, if any of these items is sold in exchange for another of the same type, then it is prohibited to take more than the other, in weight or in measure.
now,
This is due to the hadith narrated by Ubadah ibn Samit, may Allah be pleased with him,
now,
as a marfu' traceable hadith, in which the Prophet ﷺ said, gold is to be paid for gold,
الذهب بالذهب. الذهب بالذهب. Gold is to be paid for gold. نعم.
silver for silver,
والفضة بالفضة.
wheat for wheat,
نعم. والدقيق بالدقيق. نعم.
barley for barley,
نعم.
dates for dates, and salt for salt,
نعم.
like for like, and equal for equal.
Like for like means, the same. You give me salt, I give you salt. You give me dates, I give you dates. This that meaning. But it was a different type. You gave me salt and I gave you dates. It's okay. It's not here. Okay. But if I give me salt and you give me salt, then here the point. The same like, and then the same weight, and should be done on the same time, to stay away from riba and nasi'ah, which is involving the delaying and the time. Now,
And equal for equal.
now,
And payment is to be made hand to hand.
hand by hand, yadan biyad. I came with gold, 10 grams, to the shop. Some people, they do it this way. They said, well, this is old gold. Okay? And you have a new design. Okay? Take this, weight it, and give me in exchange something new in design. Is it allowed? No, it's not. Be careful. Why? Because you are giving gold. Right? And you're taking what? Gold. The same item. Should be the same. Not the quality here. The same weight. This is why when you go to do this, especially ladies, we should advise our ladies, because they are involving in this. If you go to a shop, what you do, you sell this, no matter how much it costs. Khalas? And when you get the money, and you take the money in your hand, then it is your choice to buy from this shop or from other shop. Is it clear? But if it says, take this old gold and give me a new one, and it was not the same weight, then you involved in what? In riba. Okay? Same like you have dates. For example, I have dates. Okay? Box of dates. 10 kilograms of dates. And they came to Shamsul. I said, Shamsul, Mr. Shamsul, I have this date from Medina. So Allah, very nice date. Right? And he has, in his place, maybe he's in shop, he has dates also. He said, okay, give me this box with 10 kilo of dates, and I'll give you in exchange box with 20 kilograms of dates. Is it allowed? It's not allowed. Why? Because you are exchanging what? The same type. The same type. Okay, if I want, I will sell this date, and then I can buy in exchange. Same as we did in the gold. Is it clear? Now. Now.
Sometimes they don't take the money.
Mm.
And the shopkeeper,
Yes.
he will calculate how much it costs.
Now.
They go and go to there.
Now.
He will say it's a money, so you have to add more. It's a money to take the...
No, she should take it. She should take the money by her hands please advise your ladies. Okay? She should take the money. Salam. She should take the money. Why? Because if you say like this, you like forcing her to take. Right or not? It's like, okay, this is why the problem. Now some shops, what they say, okay, if you want to sell something, they say, are you going to buy? If you are not going to buy, they will not. From them, they will not buy it from you. Okay? Tell him it is my choice and decision. You should not force me, because it's riba. Okay? But I will sell it, and then when I get the money, I will look. If I found something I like, then I will buy it like any other customer. Otherwise, I may go to other shop and buy. You should not force me. Is it clear? So this, what they do, this is wrong. This is not right. Now,
the above hadith states the prohibition of paying gold for gold, all its types, coins or not, silver for silver, wheat for wheat, barley for barley, and date for date, unless like for like, equal for equal, and payment is made on the spot.
The same spot. Not going after week, after day, after should be the same time. Yadan biyad. Hand by hand. Give and take. This is what Allah said. Yadan, yad. He mentioned that. The hand. Yadan biyad. Hand in front hand. To make it sure that you should not leave your place before you make this exchange. Now,
furthermore, the majority of scholars uniformly agree on the prohibition of selling an item as a payment for another unless both are equal.
now,
The same ruling applies to other things that share the same cause of judgment.
yeah, this is the point here. This is what we said, that as long as it has the basic of this ruling, which, should not exchange any type, okay, of the same type, then this also includes, not only limited to these 6 items that was mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, now.
Yet, scholars differ as regards setting such cause as cause of judgment.
Now.
In this respect, the soundest view is that the common property in money, coins or banknotes, is its value. That is, other similar types are to be valued according to the value of money, such as those banknotes used today. Hence, it is maintained prohibited to sell any of such items in excess for another of the same type, namely being issued in the same country.
Like, for example, I give you 100 riyal and you give me 110. This is haram. Okay? But if I give you 100 riyal in exchange of US dollar or Indian rupiah or whatever, is it okay or not? Here it's okay. Why? Because it's exchange. It's not the same type, because the value is different between money, as you know. And this is what they call it stock. What they call it? It's a stock exchange. They exchange money, like sarraf. When you go, they say, for example, for $1, 3.7475. This is different. Why? Because it's not of the same type. Even they are money, but everyone has different value. So this is the point here the Sheikh is telling you. Here we depend, when we talk about money, we are talking about the value of the money.
That is, other similar types are to be valued according to the value of money, such as those banknotes used today. Hence, it is maintained prohibited to sell any of such items in excess for another of the same type, namely being issued in the same country.
Why? The same country, the same type. Like, for example, exchanging dollars with dollars. Is it allowed? Is it allowed? It's not allowed. Okay, I give you $100. That's what was issued 50 years ago. And with the new dollar, the same amount. That's not right. Now, As for
the cause of judgment of the rest of the 6 items mentioned in the previous hadith, namely wheat, barley, dates, and salt, it is a measure of weight.
Fine.
Such items like this.
So here's the point here. He said the Sheikh here there are 2 reasons. The similarity between the types, because that means of all of the same type, that the items that we are in the process that we exchange of the same type, this is one reason. The other reason that it could be measures or weight. Right. If there's something that cannot be measured or weight, but of the same type, does this apply or not? Here's the point that ulama are different about. And here will be explained by Shaykh al-Islam. Now,
thus, the same ruling applies to whatever share any of their property as regards weight or measure and edibility.
now,
That is, such type of transactions that is viewed prohibited unless there is equality in measure or weight.
now. So if we exchange 2 types, 2 things, 2 items of the same type, there should be of the same weight and the measurement. Okay, the same. Exactly the same. Okay? If there's any difference between them in the weight or the measurement, that means it is riba. If it was the same, exactly, this is the riba al-fadl. Now, look at this. Be careful. I will summarize this for you. Now, to exchange 2 items of the same type, okay, of the same type, with extra, this is riba al-fadl. Extra, that means there is difference in the weight or the measurement. That's 1 kilo in exchange of 2 kilos, for example. Now this consider riba al-fadl. Right. To exchange 2 types, or 2 items of the same type, of the same measurement, I mean equal in measurement or weight, and those items of the same type, but there is period of time between taking and giving, this considered riba and nasi'ah. Clear? The third kind, that if we exchange 2 items of the same type, okay, with one of them different from the other in weight or measurement, plus that we delay that, that change for other time, that means we give and we take after a week or so, this includes, what? Both. Riba al-fadl and riba al-nasi. Is it clear? Now.
One question is regarding gold.
Now.
It's 21 karat and 18 karat.
Now.
Still
Still both are considered as gold. Now.
In this connection, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, may Allah have mercy on him, says, the criterion in prohibiting the transactions of riba al-fadl is measure or weight of items being paid for other items, in addition to edibility. This is one of the 2 views maintained by Imam Ahmad.
Now.
Accordingly, whatever item shares these 6 mentioned items in the hadith, in that cause of judgment, namely being edible and measurable, or being edible and can be weighed, or is paid for as a price, it is to be included in transactions condemned as riba.
Now.
Similarly, if such items share that cause of judgment as well as being of the same type, then it is prohibited to sell wheat for wheat, for example, in excess or with delaying the payment. This is based on the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ,
Now.
in which he said, gold is to be paid for gold, silver for silver, wheat for wheat, barley for barley, dates for dates, and salt for salt. Like for like and equal for equal, and payment is to be made hand to hand.
Like for like, the first condition, equal. This is the second condition. At the same time, this is the third condition here. Now, furthermore,
if the items share the same cause of judgment but differ in type, such as in cases of selling wheat for barley made on the spot, while in this case it is permissible to sell one type for more of the other. This is due to the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, if these classes differ, then sell as you wish if payment is made hand to hand.
Yeah, because now different. They are not from the same type, so it's okay. Now, please.
The phrase hand to hand here means that payment must take place on the spot between the two parties separate. On the other hand, if the items are different in both cause of judgment and type, it is maintained permissible to pay one type for more of another. So is the case of delaying payment, such as selling gold for wheat or silver for barley.
There is a difference. I'll give you gold, okay, and in exchange that you will give me, for example, wheat or clothes or anything else. This is why? Because they are not from the same type. Right? Now.
Let it be known to you, dear Muslim reader, that it is viewed impermissible to sell an item which could be weighed for another of the same type, except with equal weight.
Now.
Besides, it is impermissible to sell a measurable item to another of the same type, except with equal measure.
I think this is clear. We already explained it. Now.
This is due to the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, gold is to be paid for gold with equal weight, and silver is to be paid for silver with equal weight, and wheat is to be paid for wheat with equal measure, and barley is to be paid for barley with equal measure.
Now.
Besides, since items will not be equal when their legal criterion measure or weight is different, it is impermissible to sell an item that can be weighed or measured with a random weight or measure for another of the same type.
Now.
This is because one does not guarantee that both items are equal. Hence, ignorance of equality is like knowing about excess in one item over the other.
So we should make sure, okay, about the similarity. Don't say, for example, this is, I'll measure it, by hand, and this by kilo, because you cannot sure, okay, or you cannot know that if they are similar or not. So it should be the same measurement. If these things to be measured, then we should use measurement. If it's this kind of things that people use to have, through weight, then we should use, put it in the scale and weigh, not the opposite. Now,
as for the issue of money exchange, whether the same type or not, and whether money is of gold, silver, or banknotes, which are common these days, the same ruling applies to the selling of gold and silver is to be applied to it. It is based on the fact that they share the same properties, being of value that can be measured. Thereupon, if an amount of money is exchanged for another of the same type, such as gold coins for gold coins, silver coins for silver coins, or any category of paper money for another of the same type, for example, a dollar for a dollar or Saudi paper dirhams for the like, both exchange items must be equal in value.
this is what we say. Why? Because they are the same type. We said how much? The Prophet ﷺ said about gold and didn't say about riyals, okay, or dollars. We said, as we mentioned there, because this is different, ulama between ulama. But the sound opinion here say that here it's not limited to these 6 items. But the point is, since they are of the same type, then what's the reason to take more? Okay, I give you $10, and then you take from me $12. What for? These 2 extra, what for? Now if I go outside and buy with the $10, right? It will buy the same thing with the $12, not right. That means it will save $2. So it is different here. But as we said, if they are different from different country, because here they are not the same. Now,
The question here, about the exchange, it's not different though. Suppose it's riyal, or suppose 500 riyal note, I'm going to get 1 riyal. So they are charging some money on that.
they should not. They should not. They should not. Because here you are talking about real, either in one paper or in and then 10 or did not change.
Same like in our country or in our neighbor countries, people are making business. People are sitting with new money,
Yes.
the new note, and they are exchanging money with old money, useless money to giving the new, and they start taking the money.
That's not right.
Not right.
The same apply. Now, okay. Continue.
Besides, payments must take place on the spot. However, if an amount of money of one type is exchanged for another of a different type, such as exchanging Saudi paper riyal for US dollars, or exchanging gold coins for silver coins, both parties, the buyer and the seller, must be present at the time of the exchange, and payment must take place on the spot.
So why here they have to get it at the same time, even they are different?
Part of the hadith system.
Huh? It's not equal. Why? Because at this time, okay, the value is already fixed. Okay, they tell you, for example, that the dollar is 3.575, for example, right? But if you delay, maybe the value will be increased. You are earning by delay. Like I give you, this is the point. You got the point here? Okay? So this is why here you have to give it in the same time. Otherwise, here they are making some benefit. Now,
In such a case, it is permissible to exchange one type for more of the other type, both according to their value. Similarly, if a piece of gold jewelry is sold for silver dirhams or for paper money, both the buyer and the seller must be present at the time of the transaction, and the payment must take place on the spot.
same thing. Why? Because gold and silver including like money. Right or not? Same like money. It gives value. Now.
The same applies to selling of silver jewelry for gold coins.
Now.
On the other hand, if a piece of gold or silver jewelry is sold for jewelry or money of the same type, such as in the case of selling a piece of gold for gold or a piece of silver for silver, there are two matters that should be fulfilled.
Now.
First, both pieces must be equal in weight.
Same thing. You got the point here? This is what we said when you go to jewelry. Not because my gold that I bought is old fashioned and mashallah you have a new design. I give you 10 grams and you give me only 5 grams. This is the point here. Should be the same weight. Now. Second. Now.
Second, both the buyer and the seller must be present at the time of concluding the transaction, and the payment must take place on the spot.
We should not delay because we'll get involved in what? In this riba and nasi'ah in this case. Now.
With regard to this, dealing in riba implies a great danger that one cannot avoid unless one is well acquainted with its ruling.
This is why, brothers, this is why we say it always. The Muslim, my dear brothers, should be equipped with the right Islamic knowledge. This is why, especially these days, every Muslim should learn this. Why? Because all of us, in one way or another, we are involving in business or dealing with money. Right? Nobody is isolated. No one should say, well, I don't know. There is no excuse. This is why the Muslim should what? Seek the knowledge. And as we said before, the rule said, ما لا يتم الواجب إلا به فهو واجب. This is the rule. This is the qaida. If anything that you cannot do except with something else, then you have to acquire the knowledge of this. So, if somebody says, well, I wish to deal this, I don't know it is haram, we said you are not excused. Because you should what? You should ask. You should learn. وَأَسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Then ask people of knowledge if you what don't know. Now,
Therefore, whoever is not able to know about its rulings by himself can ask the people of knowledge.
No.
This is because it is not permissible for someone to undertake any transaction except when being certain that it does not involve riba, so that his religion can be saved and he can rescue himself from Allah's punishment, with which he has threatened the usurer. It is also impermissible to imitate others in any kind of transaction without considering it carefully, especially nowadays when people do not consider the ways through which they can get their wealth and gain.
Yeah, this is the problem. The problem now, people would, if you ask, brother, why are you doing this? They say, all people are doing this. So and so and so and so, and mashallah, this is Shaykh Kabir, and he's doing this. Is this Shaykh Kabir was taken from the head? Huh? At the day of judgment? Are we taking our knowledge or our deen from resembling the people, following the example of the people, or following the teaching of the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It's very important. This is one of the dangerous things that many people are doing, many wrong things, and if you ask them, they say, people are doing this. And the Prophet ﷺ warned us. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا يكن أحدكم إمعة يقول إن أحسن الناس أحسنت وإن أساءوا أسأت ولكن وطنوا أنفسكم إن أحسن الناس أن تحسنوا وإن أساءوا أن تتجنبوا إساءتهم أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. The meaning of this hadith. لا يكن أحدكم إمعة. That means one of you should not be without any opinion. That means blind follower. Follow people blindly. He says, إن أحسن الناس أحسن. If people did good, I will do good. وإن أساء الناس أسأت. And if people did bad, I will do the same. What's the problem? ولكن وطنوا أنفسكم. But we should be steadfast, you know the rules. إن أحسن الناس أن تحسنوا. If people did good, then you do like them. وإن أساءوا أن تتجنبوا إساءتهم. If they make something wrong, then you should avoid their mistakes. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
أشهد أن
محمدا رسول الله.
The Prophet ﷺ said, there will come a time when people will eat, that is take riba, even the one who is not eating price in a way or another.
اللهم صل على محمد. This is my brother من علامات النبوة. This is called من علامات النبوة. This is a sign of prophethood. This statement. What does it mean sign of prophethood? Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling about something that will come in the future. Right? And did this happen or not? This happened. The Prophet ﷺ said, one day, in the future, everyone, look, everyone, let me know what is there, will eat riba. Or people will eat riba. كل يأكل riba. And the one who doesn't take it, he will be influenced or affected even by its dust. ومن يأكل ومن لم, the one who doesn't take it, أصابه ولو غبار. He will be touched even with the dust of the riba. That means he will be influenced in indirect way, as we see right now. Now, whatever you do, your money, where does it come from? Your salary, where does it come from? From banks. And banks dealing with what? Riba. So, the smell of riba is there or not? But are we, will be taken by this? No. No. Alhamdulillah. This is alhamdulillah knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah says, ربنا لا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حمل علينا قد ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به. This is something you cannot avoid. Right or not? Nobody can avoid it. So what should I do? Should I select myself? This is the point here. نعم. But the hadith here, my brothers, is warning. Is warning. Another hadith which is related, not in riba but in income in general. يأتي زمان على الناس لا يبالي المرء من أين أخذ ماله من حله أو حرامه أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. There will be a time that's in the future when some people they will not care, they don't care. Where did they get their money? Is it from halal or from haram? They don't care. And this is the time. Many people, they don't investigate their income or, whatever they are doing or the business they are involved in. They don't investigate because they don't care. Now,
it is worth mentioning here that there are many usurious transactions undertaken nowadays.
Now,
one of these transactions is increasing the debt on the insolvent debtor by the way of interest rates. When one's debt becomes due and one is unable to fulfill it, that is, the creditor allows the debtor to postpone fulfilling the debt, and in return, he increases that debt in a certain percentage according to the debtor's period of delay.
and this is, my brother, very, very serious. Many people are involved in this, especially in credit cards. Right? These credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, what they do, that they said, okay, make it easy for you. Take it and go and buy. But they tell you, if you didn't pay in a circuit 25 days, then there will be 1% or 2%. This is riba. Okay? Fine. Now, they already take the service charge, from where? From the business holders. Why? Because they take 2.5% of whatever you get. But they don't take it from you, they take it from the business. Right? Okay? They say, for example, they sell, when you buy this 10 riyal, 2.5 will go to the company of the credit that uses it. Right? There's only one way that some Islamic banks or the Islamic transaction, that if they, in the agreement. Some people, they said, okay, I will not do it. I will not do it. Whenever I use it, I will pay right away before the deadline comes. But initially you were what? You accepted this by signing this contract. Right or not? Even you didn't do it. And you don't know. Maybe at this time a person becomes sick. Right? He was not there. There's no way to pay the money for any reason. So he will be told, or this will be applied to him, right or not? Right? What's the solution for this? The solution in some banks, you don't sign this. Okay? Like for some bank will not name or make, advertisement for some banks. But some banks, if you have, for example, with them account, they will tell you, look, take this Visa card. You can use it to make it easy for you. Okay? But when this time comes, we will cut the money from your account. Deduct it from your account. But if when you come to at that time you didn't find my account, the balance will be something to give this amount. Say, well, we'll wait. We'll wait, but there's nothing will be increased. You get the point here? This is okay. It's okay. But if they said, no, be careful, if the money in your account does not pay the amount, then when you put more or deposit some money, then we'll deduct our money plus charge for your delay. That means we get back again and involved in riba. This is why, brothers, be careful when you take any of these arguments. You need, this contract. You need to read it carefully. If it has any point that say that will take more than what you pay because of the time, then this is haram. But if they take, for example, a yearly annual amount as charge for the card as a service, this is okay because it's not related to your portion. Okay? It's like you are buying or using this card. This is okay. But in the transaction, when you buy or use this, then they should pay the same amount that you spend in this credit card. Okay? I use this. I pay in different locations. And the amount that I paid about 3,000 riyal, then they should not deduct more than 3,000 riyal from my account. Is it clear? Now,
this is the riba done at the pre-Islamic period of ignorance of Zahdiya, which is prohibited according to the unanimous agreement of Muslim scholars. In this regard, Allah says, which translates, O you who have believed, fear Allah and give up what remains due to you of interest, if you should be believers. And if you do not, then be informed of a war against you from Allah and His Messenger. But if you repent, you may have your principles. Thus, you do no wrong, nor are you wrong. And if someone is in hardship, then let there be postponement until the time of Eid.
Inshallah, we'll stop here and we'll start, inshallah, next week with this ayah explaining the meaning of this verse, giving some tafsir, and then we'll get the lesson that the Sheikh listed here. Right? See you after Salah, inshallah, for Arabic class. Jazakumullah.
Some shops, they send laptops on installment and they collect money from the bank, from our salary, every month.
I didn't get your question.
Some shops is giving the laptop in installment.
Yes.
And the same